everybody. Welcome to ASY TV's The Last 30 Days. My name is Brandon Bishop, and I'm the executive producer and owner of this streaming television network. And you may be asking yourself, if you don't already know, what is ASY TV? Well, like I said, it's a streaming television network, but it's a lot more than that. We are growing and growing, getting bigger and bigger and better and better every single day, it seems. Adding shows, adding new episodes of existing shows, and it's the most fun, honestly, over these last 5.5 years. It's stressful, don't get me wrong. And a lot of people don't think I have a job, but I tell you what, it's the hardest I've ever worked in my life. But it's the most fun I've ever had in my entire life, and I hope it goes on until the day I drop dead. And I hope that once you watch this last 30 days and you see what goes into this network, all the traveling, all the editing, all the faces, all the places, all the stories that we are honored to tell you, I think just maybe, if you haven't already, you'll go to ASYTV.com and you will subscribe. It's only $5 a month, people. $5 a month. You've got Netflix, you've got Hulu, you've got Amazon Prime, you've got HBOMax, you've got Disney Plus, you've got the Peacock, you've got all of these different streaming platforms, but there's one more that you need. I'm saying need here, not just want, you need to have. And it's called ASY TV. Look at the spelling, ASY TV. Look it up on Roku, because we're available there. Look it up on Amazon Fire Stick, because we're available there. Look it up on Apple TV, because we're available there. And we are available at ASY TV. ASYTV.com, ASYTV.com. We're available everywhere, and pretty soon we're going to be adding mobile apps, and we're going to be available on the Sony platforms. We're going to be available everywhere television can possibly be streamed, and I cannot wait till we get to that point. But like I said, this has been a journey, and a lot of what this show, The Last 30 Days, is, it's going to be explaining that journey. We're going to take you on that journey. And I can't wait to show you some of this stuff and let you be introduced to some of the amazing people attached to this really fun television network. So, without further ado, and I really don't like people that say that. Why did I write that into the... Without further ado, let's get rolling and talk about these last 30 days. But there's one caveat here. Since this is the first episode at the end of October 2020, and we're going to be doing these episodes of the last 30 once a month, because we have a lot of work to do, and it gives us time to build up a nice little thing to talk about. But this episode, we're going to cheat. Yep, we're going to cheat right off the bat. Yes! Because this summer has been the summer of productivity for ASY TV. It's amazing. So we're going to dig back a little bit further. We're going to interview. I think we got 3 interviews on this first episode, some names that you probably know. And by the end of this little, however long this episode lasts, I think, if you haven't already, you're going to subscribe to ASY TV. So get ready.
ASY TV is back. Hundreds of hours of all original and classic TV and movies, commercial free, and now available in millions of homes worldwide. Streaming all day, every day on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and at ASYTV.com. ASY TV brings you all original series like Good Brother with the Big Algean family, The UFO Show with Amy Duma, Go There, Eat That, New York Ham, Wrestling with Ghost, Best Day Ever, A Call to Adventure, Lost in America, The Chateau, Evilise, Sparkle Nation, That Vegas Show, Puppet, The Psycho Dwarf, Father, Son, and the Spooky Ghost, The Drink, and new episodes and new shows released all the time. You've got Netflix, you've got Hulu, Amazon Prime, HBOMax, Disney Plus, and all the rest. Now add ASY TV. Subscribe today on your streaming device or at ASYTV.com. Use this code when subscribing and support the shows that you want to see.
Yes, you saw the title tag. We're going to start off every episode with a little bit of news, rumors, a little bit of gossip, and a little bit of stuff I probably shouldn't tell you. But since I love you so much, you're going to get it. I'm the horse, this is the mouth. And yeah, we're going to talk about some stuff. Are you familiar with the name Renee Young? Maybe you are if you're a WWE fan. Well, we've been in correspondence with her, and she just released a cookbook, which I highly recommend. Look up Renee. Her last name is spelled Paquett, Paquett. If I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. Anyways, but she just released a really awesome cookbook. I highly recommend you get it. So, with this brain, I like to reach out to people like that and say, hey, why don't we do a cooking show? So, the first rumor, not finalized yet, is that maybe we'll have Renee Baguette? I'm sorry, I just called her a loaf of bread. I'm sorry, Renee. You're going to have to tell me in person how to pronounce your name. Paquett. I'm sorry. I'm just a small town boy, born and raised in South Detroit. My literal skills are good, but not, when it comes to pronunciations from like French and stuff like that, so please forgive me. Anyway, we may be doing a cooking show with Renee pretty soon, and I'm super excited about that. Gives me another chance to go out to Las Vegas, where we also shoot That Vegas Show, which we've recently shot a new episode where we went up and down the extraterrestrial highway, and we also have a new episode coming out where we go up and down the Las Vegas Strip. Ricky's not a big fan of the Strip, but it's a great episode, and to have multiple projects like that out in a city is great for me. We also been talking to Nathan Orton. You may know the last name Orton from the Orton wrestling family, Randy Orton, Bob Orton. There's another Orton. His name's Nathan Orton. He's a stand-up comic, and he's not a wrestler. He's not in the wrestling business, even though I met him through a wrestling medium, so to speak. But he's a super funny guy. He's out there on the streets of New York, not homeless, but right now the comedy clubs are not exactly packed. So he's out there doing his thing, and it's a great story. So hopefully that's another rumor. Nothing confirmed yet. Nothing, not yet. So that's another rumor that we may be doing. So in Vegas, we may have Renee's cooking show and That Vegas Show. And then we go up to New York City, where we've got New York Ham and maybe Nathan Orton, and talking about a young comic, a unique young comic. Totally cool guy. Just met him a few weeks ago in Georgia, of all places, and doing a show about stand-up comedians. Awesome stuff here. And if you know me whatsoever, I love stand-up comics. I love wrestling. I love travel. So I'm very selfish when it comes to these ideas, and I have to reach out to these people and make these things happen. So I'm looking forward to being back in New York City. Hopefully all these restrictions, which have cost us a couple of trips already to New York City to film the New York Ham Show. Hopefully all of that's lifted here really soon, and both shows up there can get knocked out well. I'm looking very forward to it. Eddie Finocchiaro with the New York Ham Show. I miss you. It's been over a year since we did your first 3 episodes, and I'm bummed about that. Of course, you know why, but it's getting to the point now where we're just going to have to strap on the masks, load up on some extra hand sanitizer, and, ride the subways, buses, and Uber drivers up there in New York City and get this damn thing done. So my director for operations, who we're going to talk to later, her name's Heather. Heather, we need to get that going because we both miss Eddie. You like Eddie more than I do, and I love Eddie. So anyways, other news and rumors. What could there possibly be? There's so many new shows on the horizon. The Mike and Maria show, which we're still working on, maybe tweaking the name. We're still working on the first episode's done. It's already been added to the not the first episode, but the channel's already been built. You can go on the ASY TV right now, see Mike and Maria, and there's a commercial on there right now just as a placeholder. But the show is fantastic. Mike and Maria, more wrestlers. They're like the most, they like to call themselves the most real couple in pro wrestling. They're an actual married couple, Maria Kanellis and Mike Bennett. Any true hardcore wrestling fans know them very well. And it's awesome to have them as well attached to ASY TV. And I never in a million years for this to be so wrestling oriented and heavy in the pro wrestling community. But we've been talking to Teddy Long. There's another rumor one. If you don't know these names and you're not a wrestling fan, that's fine. I'm not talking to you. Just fast forward a minute here and then we'll get into some other stuff. But Teddy Long's another one. Token and talking, man. That's what I'm pitching to him. And we got literally a ton. Heath Miller is his real name. one of the coolest guys I think I've ever met. Funny as hell, and I approached him as well. So all of these wrestling names, Mike and Maria. Eva Lise, we're getting ready to film another episode with her in Tampa, Florida in just a couple weeks. I can't wait to do that. We've only had the one episode for like a year now because of scheduling and COVID and all this stuff. Amy Duma, another one. We've got 5 episodes up right now, the UFO show, which is actually right there. And another thing that has been on hold because of the global pandemic, the trendy virus. So, but these things are eventually going to pick back up, and I'm excited. And the one show that has been a constant, though, throughout the summer and fall so far of 2020 is Good Brother with the big LG and family. And I was lucky enough to catch him with those 10 minutes of free time that he has, because he's got Talking Shop-A-Mania 2 coming up. And back to the thing real quick, though, before we go to this interview. I was a professional wrestler for nearly 2 decades on the independent circuit, had a couple shots here and there, had a fun career, got lucky, not too injured, made a family of friends, people I consider brothers and sisters. And I retired in like 2013, 14. I said I am done. I never thought in a million years, 6 years later, that I'd be more in tuned with the actual wrestling industry than I have ever been. So, it's just one of those businesses that brings you back into it. It just sucks you back into it. You're like, I'm done. It's been fun. I love you. See you later. And then it's like, no! You're coming back, Brandon. You're coming back. You're going to do a bunch of TV shows with a bunch of popular wrestlers. Yeah, you're going to get to know everybody in the freaking industry at this point. And that's pretty much where we're at. And I'd be stupid if I didn't approach these people to do shows with, different kinds of shows, travel shows, cooking shows, lifestyle, mini documentary series like we do with Good Brother. So right now, this guy has been kind of the catalyst for a lot of it, because I've met a lot of people through filming his show. So you may have known him as Luke Gallows in WWE. You may have known him as Festus a long time ago. You may know him now, the best version of him forever, as the big LG, Doc Gallows in Impact Wrestling. And he's also the subject and the featured material for Good Brother with the big LG and family. So let's go to that interview right now with the big man. Mr. Drew, how are you, sir?
I'm great, Good Brother. How are you?
I am just fine. Are you sick of this face yet that you're looking at? Because I can never get sick of your face, but I've seen you more than I've seen my own mother this year, okay? And that's true. Actually.
You have seen a lot. You have seen a lot of me. You have seen a lot of me, and that's okay, because I hope we're making some beautiful content.
500 yeah, 500 hours of not just stuff that we filmed. I'm talking 500 hours of delivered content airing right now, or soon to be airing on ASY TV right now. All of you, your family, your friends, your projects, your life. You got to
everything, man. Everything, man. From, like you said, from going home and catching that family moment, my parents' 60th birthday surprise, to the preparation for the first Talking Shop-A-Mania, the fallout, the aftermath, the watch along, the prep for Talking Shop-A-Mania 2, the fallout, the aftermath, all coming to you, all on ASY TV for the low, low price of $5, if I'm correct.
Just 17 cents a day, people. Where are you?
That's it.
And if you want to check out the support the Good Brothers show, use that big LG code. This is what I'm doing with this show, is I'm training people how to actually, they all have Netflix, they all have Hulu, but we have to train them to do this. So it's
that's okay. Streaming is the way of the world now. It's happening. You guys have content. You have all kinds of places to find good quality content. Brandon and the ASY team do a magnificent job of coming and documenting, whether it be life, lifestyle, wrestling, sports, rock music, whatever it is, whatever show you're watching there. They do a great job. They button it up. I mean, this thing looks like something that's on television in prime time. And as this thing grows, who knows? Maybe it will be. But, you can go to ASYTV.com. You can find it on there. Follow the social handles. And follow mine as well. Twitter and Instagram are _Big LG.
Absolutely. And I wanted to thank you not only for the Good Brothers show and just for all the adventures, but I wanted to also thank you because now we have shows with Mike and Maria, who we met during Talking Shop-A-Mania 1. We've been in touch with Teddy Long, of all people, about
I'll watch that one as well.
talking and token is what we're talking about doing. So
that sounds amazing.
Exactly. And it's fun to watch, the breadcrumbs. I often say this, we find the breadcrumbs and it leads to this and it leads to that. I just reached out to you. I thought we were doing a comedy variety show. I saw all the Sex Ferguson things and I'm like, oh, this is great. I want this to be a part of something to do with us. But it turned into just this docu-series of just your time from the big company to what's happening. Literally, who knows when we're going to stop. So if we ever, so it's crazy what it turned into, and I'm grateful for the challenge and the adventure and the trust, because I'm telling your life story. That's a lot of trust.
You are, but you're doing a great job with it. Every time we get an edited version, we sit down here, and despite the work and the schedules and the meshing of the this and the that and all the things that go along with it, when I sit down and I look at that finished product, I say, I'm damn glad that I am a part of this and I want to help this thing grow. And I'm glad that people get to see a look behind all the promotion and the wrestling and the Sex Ferguson and all that other stuff, and see what it's really like to do this for a living and have your family grow up in it and be in it with you and support me the way that they do. So it's been very cool.
How has your family reacted to being on this show?
Well, there's a lot of it's funny because we get so used to doing things, on TV, and I feel like I've been on TV in some form or fashion my entire adult life. But, we go back to my hometown and people aren't used to it. They're not used to seeing the cameras around, and it sketches them out a little bit. And I had a couple of moments when I was laughing when we were there with my family at my nephew's birthday party, and then on into my parents' surprise party that night. And there were people who'd never been in front of a camera before, and it was fun to kind of watch people wig out and step out and not know how to act and not be themselves, how you kind of wanted to convey them. So we had a lot of fun and a lot of good-natured ribbing seeing that all come together. And that's what I think makes, I guess, reality TV so damn entertaining, is seeing the other side of that stuff.
Your family, I think it's in your DNA. I think it kind of like boiled down to you, because they're all, you never know what you're going to get when you point a camera at somebody for the first time.
Yeah, sure don't.
Your dad is just a natural. Your mom is a natural. Even your brother, your son, your wife, everybody is just, they look like they belong there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people you can film and they're just like, and it's like, oh, this whole family. It was a great honor. That's my favorite episode by all means.
Of course.
Met your grandparents of all people. Got to shoot guns with your grandpa.
Right.
I never know where the hell I'm going to end up, man. And I'm sure you feel that way often as well.
Yeah, and you don't know the origins of people and what they really come from, and you forget yourself sometimes when you're running at a fast pace and doing stuff like that. So when I can go home and kind of kick back and gear down a little bit and go see my grandparents out there in the country and stuff, I love doing that, man. Getting back to your roots. So it was really cool for that to be documented, because now it exists forever. So very important to me, and I'll always cherish having that. Very cool.
Awesome. And you are just a deliverer of content, because we haven't really, have we scratched? I think we've scratched the surface, but I think there's literally buckets more of Drew and this adventure and this story to go, because we haven't touched Japan. We haven't even touched Impact. We haven't touched.
Nope.
You asked me to go to Vegas today, and I'm like, I don't know. It's 3 days. Let me look. Which most likely I'll see you out there.
There's always something going on, man. There's always something to document, and I'm not a rearview mirror guy. I've always said that. So it's always on to the next thing. You got 10 projects going at a time, and sometimes your plate's a little too full, but that's better than having your plate being empty, I always think. So I look at every opportunity and see if there's some kind of great angle to it that we can advance ourselves and our brands. And if there is, I try to take on the task. Sometimes you can spread too thin, but that's the fun of you, the viewing audience, getting to watch it either fall apart or come to fruition.
Absolutely. I've also been privy and privileged to have filmed the behind the scenes of both now Talking Shopomanias, which, if you don't know what Talking Shopomania is, it's this wacky explain.
It is a satire, a pro wrestling parody with some of the biggest names currently and of the past generations we all grew up on knowing and loving. It is not meant to poke fun at the business we all know, love, and make a living out of. It is meant to laugh along with some of the things that have made me laugh over the years, and my Talking Shop cohorts and cronies and Machine Gun Carl Anderson and Rocky Romero coming together on these projects. And we've been filming them in this pandemic, basically from my house, as you've been here and seen that. And the second one drops Friday, November the 13th, 10 p.m. worldwide pay-per-view and available on iPay-per-view via the Fight app, where you can pre-order now. It's just $14.99. Laugh along with us. If you are offended, I'm sorry. You only lost $15. It's not that bad.
And you'll get over it. Yeah.
That's right.
But I can imagine what it is for you. I'm 10 years your senior, believe it or not. And
it's crazy.
I was born in the 70s and I was raised in the 80s and through the 90s. Yep. And I know I have the same thing going on in my head where you have to be professional and you can't go, it's the Warlord and Barbarian. You know, you can't do that.
Yeah. Right.
But in here, you're doing that. So what's it like having all these huge names just walking around your house, playing with your kid?
It's crazy because it comes full circle after all these years. You know, it's 18 years of this for me now. And you know, the Warlord and the Barbarian were the first name guys I ever wrestled in the business. When I was 18 years old, about my 5th match, I had a match with them down in North Carolina. I've known those guys. They've been cool as shit to me ever since. The Barbarian, I wrestled a lot. I've used them on shows I've promoted around the country. And those are stellar guys. But when you ask them to step out into essentially a backyard wrestling match and rip off somebody's nutsack, it's not like offering those guys a professional wrestling.
No spoilers, spoilers.
What in the hell are you guys talking about?
My favorite thing is I never met Scott Steiner before, and I've been in the wrestling business for decades as well, but I never got to meet him before. And the first thing that he said to me was basically F off, you know, in a worked way, but it was so legit. It's like there's nothing cooler than being told to fuck off by Scott Steiner. There's nothing cooler than that. And then have him going, then 10 seconds later, he's like, oh, hey, let me watch that back. And then doing it again.
That's so good. Yeah, he's great, man. He's a great guy. I was on an interview earlier, and Conan and I were shooting the shit a little bit, and I was explaining something very similar to that with Scott that had happened on the filming this last Talking Shop Mania. And he said, well, you guys are lucky because you got Scott Steiner light. When we got him in WCW, it was a whole different animal. And I said, I can only imagine Scott Steiner in about 1998 and how that was to deal with. But we're glad that Scott's a part of it. It was a big honor having him here, along with all the other legends and current stars and up-and-coming guys. So it's a great mixture on Talking Shop Mania.
Cool. Before I let you go, man, what has been some of your highlights that we've managed to catch on the show and managed to catch with the cameras?
Dude, I think probably the episode that I need to go back and watch when things slow down, if they ever do, is you caught me very raw in the family episode, but also professionally, the eve of the first Talking Shop Mania, how nervous that I was to try and pull this off. And then I think you saw me maybe with a little buzz, but a moment of pride at that watch along in Athens, Georgia, when I watched along with some of the local fans here outside at the brewery. And they liked it, and they laughed, and they clapped, and I was watching Twitter, and it was a positive response. So that was a real achievement for me. You know, I've been to WrestleMania and the Tokyo Dome and Bound for Glory and all that cool stuff, but to put yourself out there like that, that's a different animal. So I think you saw some real shit go down on there, about as real as it'll get.
Gotcha. Well, I wanted to thank you, like I said, again, not for the show, not for all the contacts and the adventure, but just for being I look up to you as a business person, so I appreciate everything that you're doing. You were dealt a slap in the face, and you got up and you kicked somebody in the nuts, and that's freaking awesome, man. And I
appreciate it, man.
You've changed my life in a lot of ways. I'm just, damn it, dude.
They're amazing. I got a giant bag of nacho cheese here for later on tonight. So
I like the white cheddar. I got the promo pack with all the
white cheddar is another. That's probably my number 2. Those are great too. There's
the
so
salted
many.
butter ones, yeah. I haven't even opened the pizza one.
Sampling a new flavor right now. We're trying to collaborate on a project with those guys and come out with some cool stuff. So I think I'm very excited about all that. Rick and Lauren over at Porkin' Good, making keto-friendly products, some of the best, cleanest pork rinds around. Look those guys up.
They're getting a bonus bump here, man. That's what they're getting here. It's awesome.
You know, always.
So appreciate you, man. I may be in Vegas in a few days to see you. So
if I'm there, Saturday's probably the day. I got a signing, a Q&A, a little podcast deal I'm doing. And other than that, I'm going to be hanging out with Big Mike Knox as he prepares to get married.
Mike Knox is getting married. That is the most sweetest guy I think I've ever met.
He's not what he looks like, right?
He's a monster, but he's sweet as hell. He came up to me, hey, man, how you doing? I'm like,
Oh, yeah. Great dude.
You're Mike Knox.
Great
Okay,
dude.
that's awesome. Well, thank you, man. I sure appreciate it. Get back to that campaign trail. Talking Shopper Mania comes out November 13th, right? On Fight TV pay-per-view.
November the 13th, Friday the 13th, 10 p.m. worldwide pay-per-view, and available via the Fight app on iPay-per-view. And you wound it up just great. I should have let you finish that yarn. But thanks, Brandon, as always.
I was going to say, then hop your ass over to ASY TV, then watch the behind the scenes, right? So there it is, man.
As soon as we go off the air, it's dropping. All right,
awesome.
man. Thanks.
Thanks, man. Be safe. That was him, wrestling superstar, the big LG Doc Gallows. And it's funny that some people just have it. It! Not the clown that hangs out in the gutters and rips little kids' arms off and plays with balloons. I'm talking about just it. This is a guy who was on national television in the biggest wrestling company in the world. And after that engagement ended, after that contract ended, yeah, he was fired because of COVID, but after that ended, has now become one of the greatest minds in all of pro wrestling and has become literally successful on his own terms. Hats off, quick bow, all of that stuff. Grateful to call the guy a friend and grateful to have him as a part of ASY TV. But he's not the only one who's gone from a big spotlight who's now making life happen on their own terms. The NFL once had a fantastic player on the Cardinals, the Broncos, the Chargers, and all these different teams, Reggie Walker. Now, I met Reggie Walker in Washington State, up in the Seattle areas and Olympia areas. We were filming a different show called Moto Vixens, who I believe we're going to interview next month for Carol Carpenter. She's the host or the focal point of that show, which is all about motocross? It's the very fast motorcycles, and she runs an all-women group up there, which actually includes a lot of guys as well, but it's called Moto Vixens. There's 2 episodes up right now. We just filmed 2 more, and during filming these 2, I got to meet Reggie Walker. Now, had no intentions whatsoever to proposition Mr. Walker about doing a show, but I saw the way that he would interact, because he was featured heavily on one of these episodes, and I saw the way he would interact, and I caught a gist for his personality, which is absolutely genuine. And you can't help but you can't help but like the guy. So I'm sitting there, we're eating a giant steak together. We shared a lot of food, and we'll get into that in a second. And I just said, hey man, what are you doing here? Like, do you want to do a show? It's like a travel show where you can go around and just learn things. And like I said, we'll get into this during this interview right now, but he's just one of those human beings that just has an aura, has he's just a really cool person. I'm trying to dig too deep here, but I'm grateful for the conversations that we've had ever since, and we're going to be starting to film a brand new show. I'm not sure what we're calling it. I'm not sure what we're doing, but we're booking dates in December already for Kansas City, Manhattan, Kansas, St. Louis, and it's going to be another travel show. And I know you might think, Brandon, you have a lot of travel shows. Yeah, but it's the hosts and the locations and the stories that we tell on those shows that separate all of them, that make them completely different. So, and this guy is definitely completely different. Just a cool, genuine guy, and I'll let you judge for yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, here's my conversation with Reggie Walker. Reggie, what's happening, my friend?
Well, nothing much. How you doing?
I've only known you for like 3 days in person, but I consider you a friend already because we shared a lot of food together.
Many meals.
we were tricking chefs into cooking us giant steaks, and it was glorious.
It was great. It was awesome. Yeah.
Well, I got to meet you filming the Moto Vixen show with Carol Carpenter up there in all over Washington, and I said, man, this guy. I mean, just the way you interacted with people, your willingness to learn and kind of let other people talk and explain things and all that. We were at a gun club. We were at a bunch of different places for her show, which that episode will be coming out someday soon, and you're all over there. Actually, 2 episodes. So
awesome.
I had to reach out to you. I always have to do this, man. I try to make the most of every situation. I said, Reggie Walker, man, let's do a freaking show where we just go around, you be you. We'll have fun. We'll get a bunch of free food again. And lucky for us, you said you're interested. So what was your take on this little fun weekend we had?
It was awesome. And a lot of crazy fun stuff happened. And it was great to just be around Carol. Carol's also is always like just one of the, solid people. You don't have too many of them that you get to meet, but Carol's awesome. I love being a part of the show. Meeting you for the first time and sharing all those meals and firing a gun and getting my finger jammed.
Oh yeah, how's the finger, man? How is the finger?
It hurts. It hurts.
Well, you're no stranger from pain. You're no stranger to pain. You obviously you're played in the NFL for many seasons, a few different teams. For people that don't follow football, who is Reggie Walker, and why are we doing this show with you?
Who is Reggie Walker? That's a good question. I feel like I'm every man. I feel as if I'm just a normal guy who did extraordinary stuff, but it's just a very normal guy who likes to have a good time and likes to learn and grow and really I'm really driven to just see what I'm capable of in this beautiful thing we call life.
Talk about football for a little bit, man. Is it something you did as a kid? Is it something that like popped up in your teen years and you just got pressured into joining the high school because you're a big dude like I did? Or is it just something that's just in your DNA to begin with?
Well, football actually was therapy for me because growing up, I suffered through a lot of abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse. We didn't have a ton of money at times. I grew up in a loving house, but it was just, there's just a lot of bad stuff that happened, and no fault to my parents, but it was just some bad things that happened. And I used football specifically to just really get that energy out, and I created a life out of it. And I met a lot of cool people doing it, and I accomplished a lot of major goals with using the tool of football. And it was honestly a blessing for me to find football because I had a lot of anger issues, a lot of anxiety, depression, and being able to funnel all of that into sports and do something positive with it, it was a blessing.
And not only have you used football and your popularity from football to fix yourself, so to speak, you're reaching out to other people now. You're starting foundations and you're working with different, I don't know if they're nonprofits or not, but different kind of charities and funds and stuff like that. Yeah. So thank you for that. That's awesome. And tell us a little bit about some of that stuff, which we'll definitely cover in the show too, by all means.
Oh, no problem. So yeah, I'm definitely a board member of 1 in 6, and it's an organization that helps victims and survivors of sexual abuse. I am an advocate for mental, physical, sexual abuse survivors and their families. It's work that I feel as if it just needs to get done because my whole goal with this is I just want to create as many safe places for spaces, you could say, for men to heal and for their families to heal. And just kind of be that person for people that I didn't necessarily have on my journey to where I'm at today. And I feel as if, I'm a firm believer in that saying, if you can, you should. So that's what I do.
So paying it forward's not only cash.
Yeah.
Paying it forward could be experiences, life experiences. And I'm looking forward, man, to having a lot of cool, awesome life experiences, holding the camera on your face. We talked about starting off where you live close to Kansas City. You mentioned Manhattan, where you went to college. Which is also in Kansas. We've talked about St. Louis. We've talked about Phoenix, where you've played, Denver, where you've played. We talked about little cities in the between all of that, and just hitting different cities and living life to the fullest is basically what I think we're doing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just having a fun show where we get to, have me and some of my friends, and then we go and experience different things, eat some good food, have some crazy experiences, do some crazy things, because as you're going to see, I'm a wild guy, and I like doing wild stuff. So,
but you're so you're so laid back. I mean, granted, you're surrounded by basically strangers for the most part. I mean, you knew Dan, you knew Chase, you probably knew Carol, but for the most part, we're not, at your house on Thanksgiving dinner. But you're very laid back, kind of like, I don't know if you were out of your comfort zone a little bit. I know I am when I'm surrounded by people I don't know, like I was then, actually, because I don't know anybody either. But I imagine, I'm imagining that when you get around those familiar territories and those familiar faces and places, we're going to be filming a Reggie that I've never seen before. So.
Oh, see, and this is the thing. I am, at my core, I am so I guess I got to invent a word for it. Intoxicatingly curious when it comes to things, because I get in those situations because especially playing NFL, you get put in so many situations where there's like millionaires and billionaires and all these types of people that you do not know, and then you do it so many times you just get comfortable with it. And with me, I love poking the bear. Like, and if I gotta talk to people, I'm gonna make it interesting for me. If we both have to have this conversation, it's gonna be interesting because I'm not wasting my breath if it's not. And that's how you form these connections with people. And I feel like I'm pretty solid at doing it. Not to pat my own self on the back, but I think it's gonna. I think a lot of people are gonna get to see that with the show and get some of these people to open up. And I'm so pumped about it.
Awesome. Yeah, me too. We're all pumped about it, actually. I kind of leaked it to a lot of the other hosts and everything. I guess this is the official announcement here. And,
really?
Everyone's real excited that it's not another pro wrestler.
Oh,
No, don't get me wrong. I love my wrestling family. I love everybody who's on this network, but damn, I never meant for it to be a pro wrestling network. I've said that 1,000 times, but every new show is like, oh, they were, wrestling. They were from wrestling. I'm from wrestling. It's like finally something that's not, related to wrestling. It's a mental challenge for me because it's just another audience that we can bring in, and it's all kinds of stuff. So I'm grateful to have you, man. I had a good time hanging out with you, and I can't wait to get on the road, man. We're talking filming in December, right?
Yeah, filming in December. I told my kids that the other day, and I was like, hey, you guys want to be in a TV show? And they looked at me like, yeah, because they look at me like I'm nothing.
I get that slow head shake from my son constantly. Because personally, I think I'm kind of funny. He does not. He doesn't care about He does not care about me wrestling back in the day. He doesn't care about the TV stuff, even though he has a show on this network. He doesn't, he cares, but it's not like impressive to him,
No.
The next Call of Duty will be impressive.
This is the wildest thing about kids. I've done all this stuff, and I think NFL Film sent me like a cut up, which was, it's sort of like a highlight tape of all the stuff I used to do. And I was like, hey, kids, like, haven't seen this in years. Like, come and check this out. And then they were like, who's that? And I was like, that's me. And then they were like, so are you going to put something on TV for me? Because you're boring as hell, Dad.
I don't even bother anymore. Hey, let's look, it's me. It's me jumping off the top of a steel cage covered in blood on a bunch of people. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Is the new Call of Duty out yet now or whatever?
Can I have a sandwich? Yeah.
Right. Don't make him the sandwich either because, he won't like what's on it. So it's. I can see you're trying. You're wearing a SpongeBob shirt. That's awesome.
Yeah, I figured they'd like this, but you saw my daughter when she came in here. She looked at me and just walked away. Yeah, she doesn't care. Can I have candy? Yeah, I'll just give you some candy.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's after Halloween, so both of us have bags and pounds of candy just sitting right over there. I'm trying my hardest not to partake, but it's.
Oh, I don't even try. I just eat it. I don't even care. I count it as taxes. That's my taxes. I took you out, so guess what? I'm eating half the candy.
And you live in our home too. How about that?
Mm-hmm. And I put clothes on your back and food in your belly. So I'm about to. Yeah, I'm going to take my 50%. I'm
taking a Kit Kat. It's a.
Oh yeah, I'm worse than Uncle Sam.
Well, I cannot wait to get on the road with you, man. I'm so excited about this one. It's going to be a lot of fun. I promise you, just endless adventure, man. That's all it is. And I promise the viewers as well that we're going to represent this guy right here as best as we can. He's going to entertain the hell out of you, and all I have to do is capture it. So can't wait, man.
Look, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast.
Okay, before we get to our last interview, which will be with our Director for Operations, Heather Noelle, also known as the Magical Blue Dragon, let's give you a little history lesson. So, here's a history lesson. It's a little personal too. I went through a vicious little breakup, and I know we all do, and I don't even remember what her face looks like at this point, but at that time, of course, it was devastating. And so, not only with the breakup, but I also just decided to be nomadic for a little while. My wrestling career was winding down, and I didn't want the responsibilities of owning a house again or having all these just responsibilities. I was a dad. That was enough responsibility for me. And it was a weird time. It was a very weird time. I stayed with a bunch of friends, sometimes slept on couches. It didn't matter because I didn't care that much. I cared about my son, and I cared about just resetting my entire life, being done with wrestling, being done with that particular relationship, being just done with that whole chapter of my life. I needed something new, and that's when my head started spinning a little bit. You see, I owned a wrestling company called Asylum Championship Wrestling, and that was born at the Asylum Concert Club in Lawton, Oklahoma, of all places. And I liked the name, and when we were doing the wrestling company, I wanted to do side shows, travel shows, cooking shows, paranormal shows, goofy shows, commentary shows, whatever. Featuring the wrestlers that I had. I had this huge roster, this big pool of talent, and I wanted to use them for other things outside of the wrestling show. So we had the Asylum Network, or the ACW Network, whatever it was called, on a website. We did some goofy little shows like Ghost Fighters, and of course we would show the actual wrestling events and all that. Didn't go anywhere, and it didn't go anywhere very quickly. I was in Oklahoma wrestling out there for a different promotion, and they started airing their shows on something called Roku. I never heard of Roku. I had no idea what it was. I had no idea what streaming television was at that point. So I credit them, in Impact Zone Wrestling and John Wolfenbarger out there and everybody attached to it, with introducing me to Roku. So immediately, I was still running ACW, or the wrestling company at that time, and I wanted to bring that to Roku. Like, I was copying off of them, but then, the wrestling just won't wind it down. There's an expiration date, especially for your body. And I didn't really feel like doing it. I didn't feel like dealing with venues anymore. I didn't feel like dealing with sponsors anymore. I didn't feel like setting up and breaking down the shows anymore. I didn't feel like owning a wrestling ring and having to deal with that whole mess. I didn't feel like dealing with a lot of the wrestlers anymore. It was just time to be done. And we did a big show with Gold Dust, who's Dustin Runnels. He's still wrestling with a different promotion now. But I still wanted to do the shows, the little side shows. They were a lot of fun to do. So I got on Roku. I set up an account, and I found a developer who ended up a couple years later just absolutely being one of the worst things to ever happen to ASY TV. But in the meantime, he did get us on Roku. We started filming shows. We had like 8 to 10 shows originally. I would say 8.5 of them were just hot garbage. We had a show called How Not to Be an Asshole. Just some girl staring into the camera in front of a green screen. Just it was good for YouTube, for like 23 views on YouTube. That's really all it was. And then we had other shows like To the Last Bite. It was like an eating contest, and I was learning my craft with the cameras. I was learning. Okay, that was a nice little 101 class for me. It was those first 10 shows, which I think maybe one or two of them still exist on the network. I think Best Day Ever still exists, and somewhere I think you can find Hellscream Inc., which we haven't done in years. So Hellscream Inc. may be going bye-bye pretty soon unless we start doing new ones. And Best Day Ever with Gigi, who I love to death. Hopefully we can start doing more of those again real soon. We just did one like a couple months ago, and it was great. And then we stopped again because of COVID, or whatever the reasons are. Scheduling is another big thing. Anyways, so we just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. July 15th is when we launched on Roku, and only Roku. And we got rid of that terrible developer. We have a new guy now named Michael Moore, who's got us back on Roku, who's got us on Apple TV and Amazon Fire Stick, and I still handle the website myself, the ASYTV.com. So we've been growing and growing and growing and growing, but that is the history of ASY TV. And if you follow the breadcrumbs through some of these shows, like with Doc Gallows, Drew Hankinson's his real name, we meet people at his events, and then we do shows with them, and then we meet people at those events, and then we do shows with them. Sometimes I'll see somebody who's just absolutely extraordinary on social media or just whatever, even on YouTube or something. I'll reach out to them, and then we just start working from there. It's not meant for everybody. It's not meant for everybody to have a show. It's not meant for even everybody to watch, even though there's truly something for everybody on there. But that's where we came from. During that time when I was nomadic and just basically homeless, I just came up with these ideas. I had a 9-to-5 job where I was fertilizing lawns or something like that, and I don't even remember at this point. And I didn't even do the job anymore. I was still out selling everybody because I'm a damn good salesman, but I don't even remember doing that job because my head was buried into this concept. And here we are, 2020, 5 years since we launched, over 5.5 years since we launched, and we're still alive, and we're bigger and better than ever.
ASY TV is back. Hundreds of hours of all original and classic TV and movies, commercial free, and now available in millions of homes worldwide. Streaming all day, every day on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and at ASYTV.com. ASY TV brings you all original series like Good Brother with the Big LG and family, The UFO Show with Amy Duma, Go There, Eat That, New York Ham, Wrestling with Ghost, Best Day Ever, A Call to Adventure, Lost in America, The Chateau, Evilise, Sparkle Nation, That Vegas Show, Puppet, The Psycho Dwarf, Father, Son, and the Spooky Ghost, The Drink, and new episodes and new shows released all the time. You've got Netflix, you've got Hulu, Amazon Prime, HBOMax, Disney Plus, and all the rest. Now add ASY TV. Subscribe today on your streaming device or at ASYTV.com. Use this code when subscribing and support the shows that you want to see.
You getting interested yet? Think you are. Well, one person that I honestly has elevated us to heights that would have taken probably years to get to is I call her the director for operations because she gets shit done. Excuse my French, but it's 2020. They're saying the S word, the nasty S word in presidential debates and in kids shows now, so I think you'll be okay. Anyways, Heather is a remarkable person through and through. Love her to death. I've known her for almost 20 years. I can trust her, which is very hard for me to say to anybody. And let's just get to it. Here she is. Well, hello there, Heather.
Hi, Brandon.
Hello. Where are you right now? You have security footage, cameras, CCTVs over there. You've got a bunch of collectible snow globes. What are you doing?
I'm sitting at the front desk of the studio.
Oh, your pole fitness studio there in Cincinnati,
Yeah.
Ohio. Yes.
Ohio.
And I apologize to everybody at that pole fitness studio for taking you away from it quite often this year.
They don't care. They like it when I'm not here. They can do whatever they want.
Well, I've brought you on as the director for operation, which is the DFO, or director of operation, which is the DO.
I like the do.
You like the do? This is our do right here. If there was two of you, if you get too overwhelmed, then we could have do.
I mean, I have multiple personalities, so I can be the do-do.
Okay, you are the do. Anyway, yeah, I've been. I guess we've been dragging each other all over the country. Yeah. When did we first start filming together? It was over a year ago in New York City. Yeah. And what are your memories of such a trip with the Eddie of Finocchiaro fame? That kind of like leapt you headfirst into what we do here, I imagine.
My favorite memory with Eddie would be the dick on his back.
Oh, yes. Eddie had a sweaty dick. Trying to keep this professional somehow. No, he had a sweat stain on his back in the shape of, just say cock and balls. But it's, that was definitely an interesting introduction to ASY TV. So I'll officially say welcome aboard.
Yay!
Here's Tennessee. We collect these all over the country now. It's kind of just like little timestamps of, that's even cooler. Wow.
I know.
So anyways, I want to publicly thank you for making things happen. What's the C stand for?
Well, one of my instructors got it for me, and it doesn't stand for sharing.
Does it rhyme with hunt?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Anyway, so what have you gotten yourself into here with me, lady? It's a little crazy, isn't it?
A little bit. I haven't been able to do much lately because I'm broken, but
you need to stop. You and your dog need to stop breaking yourselves.
Listen, Doug is cute and he's almost healed. And
Just
I'm
'cause he's
almost
cute
healed.
doesn't mean that he can keep breaking his legs.
But it wasn't his fault.
It's never his fault.
It was that big dog's fault.
Show me a picture of Doug real quick. I'm sure you have one within 5, 4,
Wait,
3, 2, 1.
I got it, but you have to hold on a second because I wasn't
Okay, I should have done. I should have said Heather has a picture of her corgi, Duggo, the doggo, within 10 seconds. There he is, and there you are. He looks very like, ha Okay, let's talk business here. You are the main event tonight. We've had a star-studded edition of The Last 30 Days, the debut edition of this show, which I'm filming from the home office here, and we had Reggie Walker on just before you. We had Drew Hankinson, Doc Gallows, and I mean that's a pretty star-studded little network that we got here now. Not to mention all the others that we're getting ready to add that we've talked about today. So talk about them. What do you get? Was the dog?
Well, I haven't met Reggie yet, but I'm really excited to meet him. Drew's insane, but in a good way. You never know what the hell's going to happen when you're around him or his cohorts.
He always proves to be a really quick thinker, hilarious guy, business-minded, and there's a lot of business acumen crawling around that gigantic dome of his.
Yeah.
So I respect the hell
dripping down
out of
his chin.
Yeah, it is. There's so much business up here that it just shot out of his chin. That's a manly beard. I can't never grow one like that. And if I did, I would look like Dumbledore at this point.
I can't grow one either.
Well, thank goodness, because it saves you a lot of money on razors and stuff like that. But, oh my God, you're a robot.
Oh, I get to take this off on Sunday and never have to wear it again.
Let's briefly talk about this. You hurt your shoulder, probably from doing pole studio stuff.
Yeah, in July.
And then you get the surgery.
5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago.
And then what happened?
I fell at the studio 2.5 weeks ago and broke my arm.
For no reason either. You just, I saw the video on that little CCTV thing you got there. CCTV thing. And running. you ran and just for no reason just.
Yep. Broke my arm, broke my elbow, and tore 2 ligaments in my wrist.
You know how much stuff we have to get done?
I have until the 18th.
And that's our next trip.
Yes. Well, my next trip.
Or our next trip, yes. We need to get to Chicago area to film the Mike and Maria show, which we talked about earlier. We need to get down to Tampa, possibly spend Thanksgiving together in Tampa. How much fun would that be?
Yay!
Let's get a turkey. Let's deep fry the turkey, or we'll get one that's already cooked and just eat it on a towel on the beach.
I'm down.
I'm going to eat a turkey on the beach. I've never done that. That's got to come off the bucket list. Turkey on the beach. I don't know why. It's a new item that I'll add to the bucket list.
Like sex on the beach, but it's turkey on the beach.
Turkey on the beach is way better than sex on the beach. I'm not talking about the drink or the actual action.
I'm talking about the drink because I'm assuming sex on the beach would be very uncomfortable because sand would get into places sand wouldn't need to be.
Oh, do you think sand would ruin our turkey?
I mean, I guess
one stiff breeze and we're turkeyless.
Yeah, so maybe not.
Anyways,
let's go to Bob Evans.
What are some of the other highlights? We have been to so many cities on so many filming trips for so many shows. Give me the Heather highlight in your head of all of these things, that all of these people that we've been coming, all the stories that we've told, locations that we've filmed. What are some of your favorite highlights over the last, I mean, it's been over a year now.
It has been.
It's crazy.
The airplane ride with Bear.
For the BB Oxmiser show in San Francisco. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I think that's my top. That's my number one.
That has to be up there too, definitely for the kid, but think about what we did there.
Yeah.
Thanks to Matt and all the people up there for being so awesome. They showed up with 3 airplanes. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, after you're done watching this last 30 days stuff, then go over to the BB Oxmiser show. Watch the whatever, I can't remember what it's called, but the one with the airplane on it. They brought 3 airplanes, 3 pilots, and we flew over the entire city of San Francisco. We have a camera in each plane. It's the coolest. We got to see the Golden Gate Bridge before, everything was burning. We got to go over Alcatraz. We got to, holy crap. Who gets to do the stuff that we get to do? And I'm not trying to make anybody envious that's watching. I'm just trying to say, holy crap. When things get rough and things get depressing, you start and go, oh, wait. Things are pretty fun and pretty good. So,
yeah, I think that was my favorite thing that we've done. And not only because it was awesome, but I really enjoyed seeing his face, like from the other airplane, and your face, because you were smiling at him the whole time. And it was kind of pretty awesome. Just, capturing that whole thing. And it was really cool.
I'd have to put Eddie up there too. I hadn't seen you for decades before Eddie.
Yeah.
We kind of met up because we've known each other for literally almost 2 decades now. And, that was kind of the first time we got back to seeing each other in person, and then we just hopped into this adventure. We filmed we filmed penis cakes and Katz's Deli and just Eddie in general. We got to go into catacombs underneath the freaking church thing. We got the San Gennaro feast. I always forget all the words. Like all the words escape me. And
the spaghetti stuffed meatballs.
The spaghetti stuffed meatball place. Yes. Too much fun. And then there's, of course, the stuff with Carol up in Seattle for the Moto Vixen show. There's oh my god, there's and then Drew, and then some more Drew. Then we went to see Drew. Oh, remember that time we went to see Drew in Georgia?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember that time we went to see Drew in Maryland and West Virginia, Pennsylvania trip.
And West Virginia too.
Yeah.
And also you have been there for most of this mess behind me.
I think that's part of my favorite mess.
You have a collection that's like right here, I think, down a little bit down the hallway. You don't live here, so the Disney stuff isn't prominently displayed like, Harry Potter,
sacrilegious.
Stranger Things, and the horror movie monsters, and this is all Rick and Morty. But yeah, the One Nation Under Pop show has been, holy crap. I felt literally like an 8-year-old little boy when we got the film at Funko headquarters in Everett, Washington. Oh my goodness. I was just giddy. I don't use the word giddy at all. I don't think, but I was just like,
yeah, you were pretty excited for that.
Literally a kid in a toy store. It was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And obviously this collection, whether it stays or goes, it's kind of up in the air, but it's out of control right now. We
seriously haven't been to my favorite place yet, but that will happen.
Look at this, people. Look at this.
That's not even.
No, this whole wall right here that you can't see is also.
And it started out on that table right there.
Populated. Yeah, that little table right behind.
The first time I was at your house, we went and bought a CD rack.
The little $5 CD rack that held 25 of them. And I'm like, wow, I've got a lot of pops, don't I? This is crazy. Wow, look at me. Look at my pop collection. Now it's just like. I don't even know what I got anymore.
But I'm really proud of you for hanging those shelves up.
Those shelves look good. You're the one that turned me onto these shelves and actually hung up the first couple ones. And now it's like, I'm a shelf hanging son of a bitch.
Did you use the level?
I used the level, which has since disappeared. So the last shelf, I did not use a level in it, but I made it pretty good. I found out there's a level on the cell phone.
There is.
I had no idea about that. I was just going, what is that? Oh, it's a level. I don't have to find the other one, which is probably buried in the couch, in the couch, and it'll end up like in my butt at some point.
Or she stole it because she didn't get cake.
Oh, yes. Today is actually November 3rd. It's not only Election Day, more importantly, it's Marcy Cat, my cat's birthday, who I had to lock up because every time I do anything like this, she gets extremely vocal. So, yeah, I don't want to be interviewing Reggie Walker with meow in the background. But I wanted to end it off with not only a good friend, probably my best friend, and thank you for making all these things happen and just being not just a shot in the arm, but literally a heartbeat for everything that I've been trying to accomplish for years now. And I mean, holy crap, it's getting so exciting. Just all the things that we talked about on this show before this interview. It's just like, these are things that are happening or have already happened. And these are things that are just going to take us here and then here and then here and then here. You like that little clicking and then here. And then if anybody else did that, I'd be like, oh God, stop clicking. But
I made that noise at Doug the other day and he tried to bite me in the face.
Your dog does bite people. Yes, it's a violent dog.
No, listen, he was pretty high.
So your dog keeps getting trampled by other dogs. That's why he has both back legs messed up.
He got a double knee replacement. He's like an old person, but he's only 2.5.
Yeah, poor doggo. But he's already walking around and everything. So
he is. Didn't I send you a video earlier, didn't I, of him walking on the pool cover?
I think you did, yes.
Yeah.
I usually look at those and go, oh, God damn, another dog video. Oh my God. And then I put it back down. I watch them. It's the easiest way to offend Heather, and she knows I'm kidding. So it's all right. Anyways, thank you. Seriously, I bow to thee for everything that you've done, not just for me, but for all the hosts and everybody that's attached to this monster that's still a puppy. It's only 5 years old. ASY TV is only 5 years old. It's this little puppy right now, but it's kind of, it's kind of a dog. I'm using terms that you'll appreciate. And then it's going to be like this just big.
But dogs don't live a long time. We should do something that lives a long time. Unicorns, dragons.
Dragons is fine. Okay, it's a baby dragon, and then now it's almost ready to breathe some mother freaking fire. I'll tell you that much right now. And then a lot of that has to do with just you and your efforts and your you're awesome. We all love you to death, and thank you for everything. Anything else you want to add before I click the hang up button?
No.
Wow,
I'm excited.
This has been a great interview, Heather. It's just been me talking.
I know. No, I'm really excited for what this whole next year is going to bring. I mean, this year we were building more on the foundation that you built already, and we were adding to it. And now things are just like falling into place. And I think it's pretty freaking fantastic. So,
and they really are too. I mean, things are just like, if you follow the breadcrumbs, it's like, oh, we know this person. And then we met this person through, like we were filming with, Gallows, and next thing you know, we got Mike and Maria. We've been talking to Teddy Long. That's kind of
my favorite.
Yeah, he loves you. He's a kind of a.
I need to email him.
He's a Heather fan. Yes, you do. You need to be like, hey, here's a hi, Teddy. Are you ready to do a show?
Kind of shirt, this isn't the kind of shirt I can wear when I meet.
And that's not sexist. That's actually, that happens. Trust me, I've fallen for it.
No, I mean it's a true story. Like I have to wear the low cut shirt when I meet with him.
Bring a joint, and anyways, non-wrestling fans are like, who the hell's Teddy Long? Look it up, whatever.
Yeah, Teddy Long's fantastic. So,
but we keep following these breadcrumbs, and then we, you reach out to someone like Renee Paquette, who used to be Renee Young with WWE, and then we, I bump into, my old buddy who published my son's book, which is called Billy Fred Whopper Goggles, available now on Amazon.com.
Your kids, they need something to read for school.
Absolutely. Yeah. Perfect book for ages 7 to 15. But then, through my buddy Dan, who is the publisher, I meet Carol. And through Carol, we meet Reggie Walker just a couple weeks ago. Through Reggie Walker and, filming with them, we meet Chef Jason Wilson, who's in Tacoma area. And I'm sorry, Bellevue, Washington area. And we're getting ready to go out there and film a show with him. So who's next? That's the most exciting part, is like, I constantly reach out to people. I know you do as well, but who is next? What, major I don't even care if it's a big name. I don't care if it's a superstar celebrity. None of that matters to me. Yes, it helps the bottom line, but just what awesome people are going to come into our lives from here on out.
I'm trying to get Jack Hanna.
From Hanna and Barbera? From
from Jungle Jack Hanna's Animal Adventures.
Oh, I like cartoons.
Morning.
Sorry.
No, it's not cartoons. It's animals.
Oh, that guy that used to bring on. Is he still alive?
Yeah, he owns the Columbus Zoo.
He used to bring on stuff for Johnny Carson in the day.
Yes, that guy.
Wow, that'd be interesting. Well, that's not a rumor. That's just a thing we're attempting to do. Because literally, if I said everybody that I reached out to and had conversations with, it would be this endless list of me name dropping people, and nobody wants to hear that.
Well, that's just so I can play with animals. I want to pet a lion.
I got to hang up for you because I still got a lot of work to do, and so do you. So we'll talk a little bit later. Yep. And virtual high five. Okay, thank you for joining us on ASY TV's The Last 30. The next episode will be at the end of November, and it will actually just be about the things we did in November. So give us ideas. If you think of anything, we're going to put this out there for free so people can see what we do and hear what we do and watch this for free, basically, probably on YouTube and all that. So I imagine there's a place down here where you can leave comments. Leave some comments. Tell us that you subscribed. Give us some ideas to do for this show. Different segments, different fun stuff to do, and we'll get it done because honestly, this show is for you. And it's a good way for us to keep track of what the hell we're doing. So, once again, if you have not subscribed to ASY TV, I know at this point you really, really want to. It's only $5, people, 17 cents a day, less than that Starbucks cup of coffee you had this morning, less than that delicious breakfast burrito that you've been thinking about all day, or is that just me? God, a breakfast burrito sounds amazing right now. Yeah, it's only $5, people. Come on. You get hundreds and hundreds. I think there's like 700 hours of all original and classic TV. And when I say classic TV, I mean Three Stooges, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, Beverly Hillbillies, Lucy Show, stuff like that. One Step Beyond, Dick Van Dyke Show. There's a ton of stuff on there. Dragnet. Oh my God, there's all kinds of cool shows from the golden age of television. So there's that tier. And then there's all of our original programming, which we have something like 37 television shows that we produced. It's amazing. Oh, hi, Amy. What's she doing? What's she laughing at back there? Amy and the Kins. That's the UFO show with Lita, WWE Hall of Famer, also known as her real name, Amy Duma. So, I don't want to beg, but I will. Please, support us. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. And don't cancel! Every time somebody cancels, and I know everybody gets cancellations, Netflix, Hulu, everybody gets cancellations, but every time we get a cancellation, it's like, oh, I've been stabbed in the heart, why would you do that? Plus, it's really hard to cancel things on our end right now. We're working on it, but you can cancel anytime. I'm just kidding, but at the same time, it does hurt. It hurts a lot. But thank you for watching The Last 30. My name is Brandon Bishop, and go to ASYTV.com right now, see what we have to offer, and we'll see you next month.
ASY TV is back. Hundreds of hours of all original and classic TV and movies, commercial free, and now available in millions of homes worldwide. Streaming all day, every day on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and at ASYTV.com. ASY TV brings you all original series like Good Brother with the Big LG and family, The UFO Show with Amy Duma, Go There, Eat That, New York Ham, Wrestling with Ghost, Best Day Ever, A Call to Adventure, Lost in America, The Chateau, Evilise, Sparkle Nation, That Vegas Show, Puppet, The Psycho Dwarf, Father, Son, and the Spooky Ghost, The Drink, and new episodes and new shows released all the time. You've got Netflix, you've got Hulu, Amazon Prime, HBOMax, Disney Plus, and all the rest. Now add ASY TV. Subscribe today on your streaming device or at ASYTV.com. Use this code when subscribing and support the shows that you want to see.